Hey, and welcome to another episode of Disney Dust. It's DisneyDwayne here, and if you didn't already know from behind, well, that's Prince Eric. We're reviewing the Prince novel book, Prince of Song and Sea. Of course, Prince Eric, and that's Ariel there. This is the first book in the Prince novel series by Lindsay Miller. I read it out of order. I read the Prince of Glass and Midnight first, which was about Cinderella. But in any case, I can make a slight comparison. There's a link to that review below. Right off the bat, let's say that it's a little bit different because the previous book, Prince of Glass and Midnight, actually focuses more on the events leading up to the movie. There's a bit of overlap with the movie, but in this book, it kind of fills in a lot of the stuff that is happening at the same time as the movie, but it's just not in the movie. So it's a harder thing to do, to add so much other events and yet have it still make sense in line with the movie. Ambitious. Did it all work? Well, let's discuss. First of all, the good stuff. I'm gonna say I love the homages. The chapters of the book are named after many songs. Some from the musical, One Step Closer, Her Voice, If Only, and then Wildest Dreams is the song Beyond My Wildest Dreams, which takes a riff off the movie where, Ariel's exploring the land with Prince Eric. So you get the dum ba da dum da da dun dun. So that's actually the song now, Beyond My Wildest Dreams, with lyrics sung by Ariel. There are also original songs, Kiss the Girl, Poor Unfortunate Souls, and Part of Their World. That's the chapter title. Of course, the song is Part of Your World, and everybody sometimes gets confused because Ariel sings Part of That World, and Part of Your World is not actually sung, if I'm correct. Anyhows, and then also there's an homage to, if I'm not wrong, to the Once Upon a Time series. Snow White is mentioned, but also the names, as he's trying to guess Ariel's name, he says Emma, Regina, and those are characters in Once Upon a Time in the Snow White sort of family. Emma is, of course, Snow White's daughter. Regina is the queen, right? Anyhows, so let's talk about what didn't work for me. The curse. So Prince Eric, I'm getting into spoiler territory, of course. The Prince Eric basically is cursed, and at the start of the book, it said that he cannot kiss someone, otherwise he will die. And that's just the premise of the curse. But later on, it kind of gets a little confusing because the premise of it changes. It becomes that if he kisses his true love, he will then break the curse, which was not mentioned before. And true love is very different from kissing. So those two things already sort of contradicted itself. And then a step further, which made it more confusing, was the fact that this person had to be pure of voice and pure of soul, which is again different from true love. And it's complicated, right? You can see. So that part was confusing. And then the other part was where Prince Eric was following his mother, right? And when they reached the island, this is not so much more confusing as it's just like out of character for them to, once they reached the island, stop following the mother, and then they got lost on the island, not knowing what to do because it was empty. Why didn't they just keep track of the mother? So that was just a small little thing that didn't make sense. Also, if Ariel had gone to Ursula to get her legs, why wasn't she acknowledged by Ursula when Ursula was talking to Prince Eric with Ariel there? So small little things like that, for me, when the logic doesn't come together, kind of creates some glaring holes in the story. I did love the whole premise. I did love everything that they were trying to do with the story, but it's just when you have glaring questions like that, for me, it just takes away from what the story could potentially be. These are easy fixes, I guess, and rewrites, but that's what I thought. So I'm giving this a 6 out of 10. What did you think? That's 3 out of 5, right? Yes. If you've read it, let me know in the comments below. I am looking forward to reading the next Prince novel, the last one. I think it's just a trilogy. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed Prince of Glass and Midnight a lot more. And, they're hit and misses, right? Have a magical day. Catch you in the next Disney Dust episode. Bye.